Okay, I'm just going to start recording because I've been overthinking this Bargain episode to death. And I have a message for you. So I'm just going to let it roll, and what comes out, okay? Because I know deep down it's good. And what I share with you all the time, it ain't going to be perfect, but it also doesn't need to be. So let's go. Let's talk about how to create a magnetic brand. You want to? I want to. I just want to get this out. Okay. So I want to preface this and share that what I'm going to share with you in this episode is all from experience. It's all hindsight 2020 things that I have experienced in my own business and through working with many of you through your businesses, and just truly through trial and error and falling down and standing back up and crying and not the blood, but like the tears and the sweat and just like all the confusion and ups and downs that comes with building a business. I think in any capacity, but in our case, online and on social media. Okay. All of this is from my experience. So let's go. I want to start with asking you some questions. Okay. That's how I think we should start this episode, by asking you some questions to see if you resonate with any of these. Because if you do, this episode is 100% absolutely for you. If you don't, it's still for you. I still want you to listen, but definitely, if you resonate with any of these or most of what the questions I'm about to ask you, or they're more so kind of prompts, okay? So number one, I often find myself filtering or watering down my thoughts and message on social media. Number two, I have no idea what my mission is or how I stand out from others on these platforms. Three, when it comes to creating stories and posts, I often feel, quote, stuck because I'm not sure what to say or how to say it. Four, I do not feel I have a greater purpose attached to what I do in my business. I wish I did, but I'm not sure what it is yet. 5, I wish I had more passion for what I do in my business or for a business. And 6, I am bored with my brand or how I currently show up online. Did you resonate with any of those? Let me tell you, I have resonated with every single one of these, probably a lot shorter of time ago than you think. I mean, some of these just like a few short months ago. All right. So again, like if you have felt this way, and if you look to me at all as somebody who, maybe I do something in my business that you want, that inspires you, or a thought leader or whatever, like I want you to know you are not alone. And this is so freaking normal. All right. But you should not be feeling this way. Okay. That's the first thing that we need to get clear right now. If you resonate with those, that's okay. But we shouldn't be living there. We need to be doing something about it. So my hopes is, and my intention for this episode is to bring your awareness to some things that will hopefully help you dig a little deeper and maybe start to realize what's missing when it comes to your brand. Now, when I say brand, I don't mean brand colors, brand fonts, any of the aesthetics. I mean like what you stand for as a business owner, how you show up, your mission, your vibe, your overall attitude, how people perceive you. That is your brand. Okay, so I'm hoping that I can raise some awareness and some clarity that you can then apply to your own business and brand and hopefully do something about. Because again, if you resonate with any of the things that I just shared, it should not be this way. It does not have to last. So I think where we should start is a bit with my story. And I've shared my story a few times before in different settings, but I'm going to share it in a way that you probably haven't heard, through the lens of my brand and my mission and the clarity around the whole shebang. All right. Now, when I first started my business, okay, so let's take it back to 2016. I started my very first business in 2016. It was called Bustle and Buzz, and I managed social media. And when I started this business, I had no intention on starting this business. I did not want to start this business. I had no desire, no passion behind it at all. Not even a little bit. But your girl needed to pay the bills. I needed to do something. I couldn't find the job that was going to pay me what I needed or wanted to be paid. So I said, okay, let's just do this. And I started my first business. And it was a success. It was a success early on. Within just a couple of short months, I went from 0 to 10K months, which I had never done before. And for me, somebody who came from very humble beginnings, hitting that mark, that goal of like 10K months, being on track for 6 figures was incredible for me. And it was very exciting. And it propelled me forward for a while until it didn't. And eventually you acclimate, right? You acclimate to the income. You get used to that version of you, the business, you're, hitting those goals. It's no longer fresh and new and exciting. And what I very, very soon and unfortunately discovered, that when you don't have anything else besides the drive for money, you're not going to get very far. In some cases, I'm sure people do. I mean, people do it all the time. But in my case, I was just one person. I couldn't really break a barrier past 10K months. So that's all I had. And eventually my drive came to a screeching halt. I mean, just stopped completely. I became extremely bored. I've said this many times, I use the word miserable to describe what it felt like as a business owner of this business and what I had to do day to day. I borderline became addicted to Adderall because I physically could not do work without having something in my system to make me move. I mean, that's how miserable I was. So I get pregnant with Cruz. I kind of had this moment of clarity, okay, what am I doing? This isn't right. I don't want to feel this way. If it's like this forever, I'd rather not have a business. This is ridiculous. But instead of quitting, I decided to pivot. And I then made one of the biggest, best decisions in my entire life, besides marrying Chris, probably, was the decision to pivot my business from managing social media to mentoring others on how to grow brands and businesses online and on social media. It wasn't a massive change, but it was a big enough pivot to where it made a difference in me. And that difference was I felt connected to it. I felt a semblance of passion for what I was doing finally. I wasn't being lit up by helping I was working, in Bustle and Buzz, I was working with medical practices and good people, but like I wasn't passionate about talking about their practices and creating content on, I don't know, how to care for your lip injections. Like that just wasn't my thing, but I did feel a connection and a passion for women. And at the time, I was even more specific. I was helping moms specifically in the very, very beginning of this business that I have now. I felt a connection to that. That even though I was making no income at the time and I had very little clue what I was doing. I knew enough about social media, obviously, because that's what I did. But as far as like growing my own brand and all of that, I was figuring that out myself. So I was getting no results, but because I felt so connected and passionate about the people that I was helping and what I thought at the time I was here to do, it again propelled me forward. That passion gave me a purpose. And that purpose got me up every single day, helping me go through the motions and make things happen. And then I would say about a year or so, I don't know the exact time frame, but let's just say about a year into this business that I have now, which I am, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we're coming up on 4 years. About a year in, same thing started to happen. Things started to slow down. Not business. Business was already freaking slow. But the passion, the drive. I get to that point again where I'm like, oh no. And this time when I started noticing this happen, I was like in a panic, like, oh no, I can't do this again. I've already done this once. I've already freaked out my husband and made everybody wonder if I was absolutely crazy for leaving this completely, perfectly fine business on the table and moving everything around and going to something that has no proof of concept, at least for me anyway, right? Like I was totally like freaked out, but I could not deny the fact that something was missing again. And I was really low about it. Because when I started this business, I had a connection for who I wanted to help. But my dream, what I thought I was here to do, was to become this, I don't know, somebody like Jenna Kutcher or Amy Porterfield, right? This person, this superstar with this big brand and all of these followers that hung on every single word and made a ton of money helping other people, right? Like that's what I envisioned for myself. And I wanted, I was going through the motions of trying to create what they had and how they were doing things. And I was emulating them in my own way, but I was emulating them and I was trying to kind of like stay in their footsteps. And then, like I said, something just stopped. It just stopped working internally. I knew the steps to take. It was very clear. I had hired coaches that taught me, that basic, basically the process that the people that I looked up to did. But internally, I could not deny the fact that something was wrong. Something was very, very, very much missing. And what I did was imperceptible at the time. I didn't really realize that I was doing this. It's not like it was a conscious decision. Like, okay, it's okay that I feel this way. I just need to pivot again. That's not what I was thinking at all. Because in my mind, there was no pivoting. I was in this business and I was going to make this work come hell or high water, period. But what I did was I did shift. I did pivot, but it was almost imperceptible to even myself, but certainly I believe to probably people on the outside. But it was the shift from wanting to be somebody else and emulate somebody else's success to this shift of like, maybe that's not what I'm meant to do. Maybe what I'm meant to do, I don't know yet. Right? But like, I just need to kind of figure it out but in my way. And kind of like, side note, full transparency and honesty here, but I've always dealt with insecurity. I've always dealt with perfectionism. I've always dealt with comparison and basically like never thinking my way was good enough, right? Like always looking outside of myself and wanting to do what somebody else is doing and make mine like somebody else's, not the other way around, not to inspire somebody and do it my own way. God forbid to stand out, because I was scared of standing out too much. I didn't want that kind of attention on me. I wanted somehow to be the superstar that didn't stand out, right? Like that does not work. But that's how I used to be, right? Like this girl who overthought everything and just wanted, she wanted the success, but she didn't want to do it in a way that was her own. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. But this shift that I made was kind of this realization, kind of this maturity of, I don't want to do it somebody else's way. That's not for me. I don't know how I want to do it, but I do know that way is not for me. And I don't know what my way is, but I'm getting to the point where I'm getting more bold, I'm getting more comfortable, and I'm just going to kind of feel this out. I'm just going to kind of take a step forward and feel this out and see where this goes and see, I don't know. And again, like this is all, I'm all explaining this in hindsight, and hopefully I'm going to make this more clear to you in just a moment. So if you're like, where is she going with this? Just bear with me, because at the time, this is not how I was thinking of this, but in hindsight, I know what had happened. I was changing. I was evolving as a person. I was growing up as a human, as a woman, as a mother and a wife, but also as a business owner. I was shedding my old skin. And the old way that I was doing things wasn't working anymore. It didn't feel good. And it manifested as boredom, as feeling stuck, as, lack of passion, lack of drive. It manifested as self-sabotage, not showing up and doing the work like I knew how to do. I knew how to go through the motions, but I didn't want to anymore because that thing was missing. I was growing, I was evolving. And what I realize now that I'm almost 4 years into this business that I'm in now, I realize that I've done this many times in my business. And it kind of struck me that the way that I have been trying to run my business up until very, very recently was completely backwards. All right. I was trying to run my business in a way that was going to produce growth. That's what I've always been after, right? Growth of followers, growth of income, growth of influence. What can I do to attract followers? What can I do to attract more leads, more yeses, more clients? What can I do to attract more people in my Facebook group? That was the starting point in my whole business. And what happened was, number one, yes, I grew. And, anybody can grow through just straight up hustle, right? And we saw our parents do this. We've done this. I'm sure you've done this. Like if you go through the motions enough, if you put one foot in front of the other enough, you're going to get somewhere. But at what rate, at what speed, at what cost? For me, it was at the speed of what felt like a freaking snail and at the cost of my sanity, my mental health, my, physical health in a lot of cases, my mood, so many different things. And I realized it was because I was going about it the wrong way. I was in such a hurry to get there that I didn't have the necessary pieces to get there faster. Or maybe even at all. It was like I had sat in a car, but refused to start it, or like only put so much gas in it, I guess, and I could only get so far. And then I'm stopped and I have to like push it if I wanted to go any further, right? When all I had to do is just slow down and put some gas in the car, fill up the tank. And almost 4 long years in business, I can now see clearly what that gas is in the tank, what keeps the car going, what ultimately gets you to the destination at a sensible time. Sometimes what feels like effortless. For some people, it appears absolutely effortless. What I've learned is that it is not growth that creates that passion, right? Or the pursuit of growth isn't what's going to get you anywhere. You first have to start with passion, right? You have to have passion. Because without the passion, you're just going to start and stop, just like I explained. When you have passion for what you do, you create magnetism. It's not somebody that wants to grow that attracts other people to you. You don't look at somebody, you're like, wow, she's so inspiring because she wants to be a millionaire so freaking bad. I can't stop watching her. Wow, that dude, I signed up to work with him. I took out a second mortgage on the house because I had to work with him because he wants to get to 100,000 followers so fast. I can't not work with him. Nobody says that. You want to work with somebody because of the passion that they have, because of the passion that is undeniable for what they do and who they do it for. Passion breeds magnetism. Magnetism breeds growth. Passion breeds magnetism. It is the magnetism, that invisible factor that you cannot deny, that attracts people to you or repels people away from you. It is that thing that makes people, you cannot look away. You don't know how you came across this person, but you are so thankful you found them because they just speak your language. You just started following this person and you have to binge their content. You just came across this person, or somebody mentioned this person, you had to immediately buy their book and you couldn't put it down, or you immediately signed up for something of theirs because you had to be in their energy. That is magnetism. That breeds growth. That's how people turn into overnight successes, which we all know it's never overnight. We all know that. They've been working, they've been busting it behind the scenes, but eventually something clicks and it's just like everybody, what feels like all at once is like, whew, there. Following, watching, buying, listening. So how do we get the passion? So the question isn't, how do we get the growth? Because I'll talk to you about that all day long. I am all about some strategy. I'm strategy freaking queen. I'll give you strategy all day long. Most of these episodes are about strategy. There's nothing wrong with strategy. But strategy is only going to get you so far, right? We need the heartbeat. We need the gasoline in the tank. Strategy is the GPS. Strategy is, the thing that's going to get you to your destination. We need the gas in the tank. We need the passion. How do we get the passion? In my experience, what I have learned is you get it from your vision. That's the only way. If you lack a vision for your business, for your life, for your marriage, for whatever the case may be, you are likely going to come up lost or stuck or bored or however else we can describe those feelings. You have to have the vision. Vision breeds passion. Passion breeds magnetism. Magnetism breeds growth. That's how it goes. It does not go any other way. So if you have not taken the time to slow down and get clear on your vision, which your vision is simply, what are you here to do? Who are you here to serve? What is your big goal for yourself? And maybe you've done that before. But in my case, I thought I had done that too. And let me tell you, with a new business, you are a baby. You are a baby business owner, and babies don't have good vision. Right? When you're a baby, you don't know what you want to be when you grow up. When you're a kid, you think you know, and every once in a while, a kid will nail it. I want to be an astronaut, and then they go and they do the damn thing, and that's awesome. But for a lot of us, we thought we wanted to do something, and then life took us in a totally different direction, and that's cool. That's what life's all about. Business is the same way. When you are a baby business, you have a baby vision, or maybe a big vision. But guess what? We are humans, and the more life, the more experiences, and the years and the days that we go through, we change, we evolve. That's kind of the point. And our visions, I'm learning now, should grow and evolve with us. And every time in my own business where I came up and I was like, what's happening? I'm disconnected. I'm not excited. Oh no, I'm doing it again. 911, help. I don't want to go through this again. It was because I had failed to update my vision. I had failed to evolve my vision to me as a human, as a new version of business owner. And guess what? Here's the hard part. Sometimes when you update that vision, it requires a pivot. In the beginning of my business, that pivot was a pretty big pivot. Going from one business to another, like totally different business plans. That's a pretty big pivot. But later on in this current business, when I made these little pivots, I would describe them as micro pivots. Pivots with confidence, with pricing, with my offers, with how I share things, the things that I share. That's what my pivots look like. Yours, I don't know. I can't tell you what yours look like, but that, I think, like, that's, if there was a hard part in this, it's not creating the vision. It's pivoting accordingly so that you are recalibrated and aligned to that vision. Because when you have that alignment, you are going somewhere, and you're going somewhere a lot faster than if you're just trying to push the car without any gas. You see what I'm saying? So your vision is going to evolve with you. Your business's brand is a lot more than colors and presets. It is the passion behind a business that creates results. You can go and emulate somebody's brand all day long, all day, every day. You are not going to get the same results because it has nothing to do with that. It helps. I'll talk to you about that too. It's a factor, but it's not going to make or break you. Certainly won't make you. And then the last thing I want to leave you with is a vision, especially if it's new, is going to require consistent realignment and recalibration until it becomes just a natural part of your life, until it becomes habitual, right? You can decide and have an awareness. Maybe this podcast snapped something in you and you're like, oh my gosh, I know what my vision is. I have to do this thing. I know I'm going to do this and I'm going to be this way. And you know, I've evolved, so my business is going to evolve. You know, maybe you finally have that awareness. Amazing. But you have been in your skin, in your body for a very long time, acting and thinking and believing a certain way. A new vision that's going to different places requires a new, different business owner. And you have evolved, but to make that pivot requires a change of behavior. And if you haven't done that yet, it takes recalibration. So what this looks like is every single day when you wake up, reminding yourself who you are, who the F you are, what you're here to do, and who you are here to serve. Because if you are anything like me, you will forget. I cannot tell you how many days I wake up on the wrong side of the bed thinking that I'm still that little broke girl from Smyrna, Tennessee, who made bad decisions, who dated bad people, who knew nothing about business, who was just like going through life like a wild child. You know, like that was me for a very long time. I'm not that person anymore. But sometimes you wake up and you're just, it's weird. Maybe maybe people are like, what the hell is she talking about? But I don't know. I feel like some people will get that. I have to remind myself sometimes. I don't just wake up and I'm like, whew, let's go. I'm a boss and I'm going to talk to you like I'm a boss and I'm going to act like I'm a boss. I'm going to make all of the boss decisions aligned with my big vision, the 7-figure business owner that I know I am. I don't just like wake up and remember I'm her every single time. Sometimes I do, but like it takes practice, it takes recalibration, it takes doing the things, getting realigned to that vision until it becomes your reality, until the vision becomes your reality. Your vision is worth that work. Your future business and current business is worth that work. You are worth that work. I've said in a couple of posts recently that the feeling of stuck should be a fleeting feeling, not a destination. It's okay if you feel stuck every once in a while. We all do. That's part of it. That's part of entrepreneurship. That's part of being a human. But if you're living there as a red flag, what's going on? You have to slow down and ask yourself those questions and get honest with yourself. And then don't stop there. Do the work, pivot, recalibrate. Remember, I am hosting a workshop next week called Reinvention. And the tagline for this is get ready to recalibrate to the business of your wildest dreams. Where we are going to work together side by side in 3 days to reignite your passion, rebrand to magnetize, and then realign to thrive. If you resonated with any of those questions that I mentioned in the beginning or this message at all, and if a light bulb went off and you know that you could use some assistance with this in this area, I have a lot of experience in it. I would love to help you because my passion, my mission is not just to help women create 6-figure and beyond businesses like it used to be. It is to help women truly tap into who they are and build thriving businesses based on visions that light them up. Profitable ones. That is my passion. And reinvention is one of the ways that I would love to help you do that. So if that sounds fun to you or like something that you need, we will put the link in the show notes. You can reach out to me at Allie I. Reeves on Instagram with any questions that you have. It starts next week if you're listening to this episode the week that it comes out. And I hope to see you there. It's going to be deep. It's going to be healing. It's going to be revolutionary for some of you. And it's also going to be fun. And I'm really excited about it. I love you. I don't care what your vision is, no matter how big or small, you are worthy of going after it, whatever that looks like. And I pray that you do. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you here next week.